There he is.
Of course, the young fan of the show who was involved in that, horrific accident, but has bounced back nicely and is a friend of the show, and you wanted to call up to talk about a few things, right, Brendan?
Yeah, I also wanted to wish Michael speedy recovery. Hopefully we miss him on the show and in the booth with Coney, Paul, and everyone, but hopefully he'll be back soon. So let's have a speedy recovery, and let's...
We didn't lose Brendan, did we?
Brendan, you there?
No.
There he is. That's very nice of you, buddy. We'll make sure Michael heard that you said it.
Yeah, and I also, since he's not here, I wanted to ask you about hockey.
Yes, Brendan.
So what do you think the lineup is going to be? Like, do you think they're going to put Eager in? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Or do you think they're going to put Georgiev in to backup goalie? And what do you think they're going to do?
Savoykin is the one you're talking about, the Russian goaltender. They're going to leave. I think it's going to be Lundqvist and Georgiev for another year. If they keep Kreider, it looks like they're going to, it's going to be your top line is going to be Zibanejad, Kreider, and Panarin. And then you're going to kind of go from there. And I think they've got a shot at the playoffs this year, Brendan. I do. But I think you're still going to see, because he's got 2 years left on his contract, you're going to see Hank probably take the bulk of the load, and then Georgiev get a few more starts. But that Russian goaltender, I think, in the last year of Lundqvist's contract, will probably get called up.
Probably, yeah. And then we got Kravtsov, who we called up, we signed. But so he should be good. Hopefully a sniper, and then we got our leading centers. Hopefully Zibanejad will have another good year.
I think he will.
I love the signing of Panarin. That was the best.
It made sense because if you remember when we had JD on, he said it had to fit, and Panarin just fits what they're looking for. He's a winger who can score goals, and then that takes a little bit of the pressure off of Capo. Comes in here and now can kind of be a kid and do what he needs to do. Eventually, he'll become a sniper. You're starting to see it, Brendan. I'm not saying it's going to happen immediately, but you're starting to see the pieces of a team that I think is going to be really good soon.
Yeah, Peter, what are you doing? Wake up.
What? Excuse me? Hello?
Hockey's not exactly his thing. So why don't, before we're talking to Brendan O'Callahan, of course, friend of the show from Paramus, New Jersey. So why don't you ask Peter something that would get him excited?
All
something
right.
that's kind of in his wheelhouse.
Here we go, Brendan. What do you got for me?
This is that. I'm thinking out of the box here. What do you think about Durant signing with the Nets?
I think it's a good move, I don't know if they had to make it, but if you had the opportunity, hard to pass it up. It'll be interesting to see what they're like this year with just Kyrie and then what he's like when he gets back. But if you're a Nets fan, it's certainly exciting. And in the place the Knicks are in, I think it gives the Nets the opportunity to be really relevant in this city. So if I was a Nets fan, I'd be pretty psyched. Are you a Nets fan?
I mean, I like the Knicks, but I'll watch the Nets if they're on, I guess.
Yeah, and I think people like you will be more likely to watch them once Durant's playing.
But more importantly, he wanted to engage you in the conversation.
You know what?
I think is nice.
I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you, Brendan.
You're welcome. And also, what do you think about the Knicks passing on Durant? Do you think it was good or bad?
I don't think they passed on Durant. I think Durant passed on them.
Oh, I mean, I guess. I don't know a lot about basketball.
Well, good question regardless.
That's a good question, but that's at least my opinion. I believe that they're going to sell you this whole, we didn't want him, we were worried about the Achilles. I believe that once Kyrie went to Brooklyn, that's where Durant's going to go. But you know what? They're going to be a lot like the Rangers, Brendan. They're going to slow burn this thing. They're going to wait and see, and hopefully both Garden teams will become relevant like they were 20 years ago. That'd be great.
Hopefully go Rangers. So.
All right, Brendan, thank you.
Take care, bud.
Enjoy your summer. How you feeling?
I'm feeling better, but I'm feeling a little sick today. But
well, you know what? Relax. It's raining out anyway, and get yourself well for the weekend, okay?
By the way, I went on my first bus ride the other day.
How was that? Was that tough for you?
It was a little tough when I first went on. I felt like I was gonna pass out, but then I got on and I had a good ride.
You know what? That's what you do. You're a tough kid, and you stare fear in the face. You overcome it. You've overcome so much already. So You're the best, man. You call anytime you want.
Okay, see you guys later.
Tell your mom and dad we said hello, okay?
Okay.
All right, that's
Thanks,
Brendan from Paramus, O'Callahan. And if you don't know or remember, he was in the horrific bus crash in Paramus, where his school is in Paramus. The accident happened on Route 80. away from Paramus, but he survived it, and Henrik Lundqvist was part of his recovery with the stick, and he came into the studio, and
Great kid.
he senses, I want to get Peter involved, and you knew that the subject matter wasn't exactly in your wheelhouse, and he wanted to bring you in.
You don't know me. I'm super inside Rangers. I talked about it so much earlier today that I didn't care.
But, yeah, you do it, Ebro in the morning, you kind of wrung it out,
It was ad not. Well, first we had the guy from Bagel Boss. So
right.
It took up a lot of
and
time.
that was the natural segue into.
And so we went, you know what? We've spent enough on this lunatic at the Bagel Boss. Let's talk some inside Rangers.
Yeah, that would be something. I think you talk about how he almost passed out on the bus. I would have passed out if I was in the car hearing you talk.
Break down the Rangers
in the morning. But no, but think about that for a second, of how that must have been for him to get back on a bus.
Yeah.
When you almost lost your life being on a bus, and he almost passed out, but he felt better and he overcame it. So there's a psychological thing you got to go through. Sometimes it's even harder than the physical stuff. The physical stuff can heal, but the mental stuff takes a while. But he's such a good kid.
Yeah, no, really well said, Don. Absolutely true. By the way, this portion of the Michael K